Good afternoon, Sports Insanity Network fans. It's Mark, Old Ops Guy Halpern, along with my PIC, Danny, Vice President Danny Boy Reginolds. Good afternoon, Dan. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, buddy. Well, better at least.
Better is a good way to term it. Today is a special day here on the Sports Insanity Network where you're going to not get one live show, you're getting two.
Mm.
And you're not getting one sport, you're getting two. Going to
Yeah.
be an interesting day here on the network. So to explain quickly, me and myself, Dan, are right now live talking here to talk about the Knicks and their playoff run. And then tonight is the first round of the NBA draft. We will be live on this YouTube channel.
NFL draft.
What did I say?
You
NBA?
said NBA draft.
Yeah, because I'm talking NBA. My bad. We will be live for the NFL draft for a good portion of it. And if you like and subscribe, you're gonna be able to see us again, but we're all gonna be in different garb. Right now, we're in Knicks garb. When we're in draft guard, we're gonna be a lot of different teams. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be fun.
Well, here's the deal. Yes, the Jets are gonna draft, and I'll rep them as much as I can. I'm gonna be full-blown Nick gear. I don't care, man. Like I know Mike Rifkin wants us to rep our teams. The most I'll probably do is have a Jets scarf with
Well,
Knicks
I'll be with
hat and Knicks jersey. So deal with it, is what I'm basically
I
saying.
will be having the Knicks hat on with the Dak Prescott jersey on top with on underneath like it is now with the Jalen Brunson like this. So I'm representing two teams at once because if you don't know, the Knicks start exactly 1 hour before the draft begins. So it'll be an interesting night. We'll have a lot of fun reports. But let's get to the reason why we're here. We're here to recap what happened over the last week here on the Six Man Up and about our next podcast. The Knicks entered the playoffs, and as we had not hoped, they started off against the Atlanta Hawks. We wanted the Raptors, as we had mentioned. But if you were here, you would have seen the happiness because Dan and I were live from the tip off until the final second of the clock commenting and talking. We had a couple of comments. It was nice to see, but we want more of you to come and view. So that's what we're talking about all our live shows. The Knicks won the first game 113-102 with a game high from the usual suspects of Jalen Brunson 28 and Karl Anthony Towns 25. But no double-double for Karl Anthony Towns tonight, as it was Josh Hart who was the ball rebound hog with 14, and OG Anunoby had 8. So there wasn't two extra rebounds for Karl Anthony Towns to get his double-double. Dan, the Knicks took this game and took it with style. What do you think?
Well, we certainly were confident after game one, because even though, and look, by the way, like, can we please stop with the cakewalk idea that this series is going to be easy? No, 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 no. And we'll talk about game two in a second. This Hawks
Right.
team is good. This is a very good Hawks team that has a lot of firepower and weapons and people that will kill you. Now, on paper, are the Knicks better? Yes. Game one, they certainly showed that they were more superior than the Hawks, and I was very happy about that. But that doesn't mean we just go to sleep. No, no, no. We would have slept with the Raptors. We don't sleep with the Atlanta Hawks. So while I was very happy with game one, I wasn't very satisfied because I knew in the back of my mind if the Knicks had another slip up in game two, we were going to talk about game two in a second, that it might come back to bite them. But of course, game one victory, you're always happy about that. And again, like as a Knicks fan, knowing that you won comfortably, despite the fact that this Hawks team just never freaking quit. They don't die.
No. And
It, it, you take it.
If you want to point to get to what Dan's talking about with the Atlanta Hawks, taking a look at the first game, they were shooting all over the place. Now let's
Mm.
give it to the game leader, the guy who's been there, CJ McCollum. Had a decent night with 26 points, 4 from 9 from 3 point. And here's what I'm going to point out, and Dan and I were saying the same thing all night long. Yeah, Jalen Johnson, who had a nice night from the floor, 23 points, 3 of 7 from 3 pointers. Yeah, damn it. Onyeka Akan Dan,
Okongwu.
thank you.
Okongwu.
Had 19 points, 4 of 6 from 3 point land. Walker, Alexander Walker, 3 from 8. Here was the problem. Dan and I could have been on that court and would have had Carl could have had the distance of Carl Anthony Towns, and we could have been shooting threes. We might have missed more than we made,
Mm.
but we would have had the room. There was no pressure. They were letting them shoot the three ball like it was, hey, look, we think they're going to miss more of them. We're just going to get more rebounds and turn into points. But no, these guys were knocking them down left and right.
And then the one thing that, and this is the thing that really has me worried about this series, because we praised, if you were watching us live, we praised the fact that Jalen Brunson came out swinging and dominating the floor. Atlanta adjusted to Brunson very well and suffocated him, especially when the Knicks, a couple times went ISO and, the Hawks are on a run and everything. Like, whenever they didn't give Jalen Brunson a lane, you knew it was going to be a rough possession. So I gave them a lot of credit in game one for that because Brunson could have easily, by the way he was scoring in that first quarter, could have easily had 40 plus. No
It was
problem.
right, 18 points at the end of the first quarter. Then all of a sudden, a total of 10 points the next 3 quarters.
Yeah, he
What
was
happened?
quiet. He was very
What happened?
quiet.
And that's not what you want to see when when we possibly looking at a Kobe night, a Mitch Richmond type
Mhm.
night. It kind of scared me a little bit. I'm not gonna say I didn't, but the Knicks come away with game one with a win, and that's always the way you want to start. However, in game two, the Knicks lost 107-106. Now, this is not at fault, at least in my own opinion, by any one player on the floor.
Okay.
Okay. And Dan and I know Dan is going to disagree with me with this, but this is what makes for a good podcast. Because if we always agree on something, there's nothing to talk about. So let's go over it as we normally do. Game high from our usual suspect, Jalen Brunson with 29. Carl Anthony Towns had 18. Still no double double on the rebounds, 8 rebounds. Josh Hart again leading the way with the rebounds. And OG Lights number 8 for rebounds as he has now had at least 8 rebounds in 5 of his last 6 games. Um, the bench was used to a certain point. Mitchell Robinson, obviously, still the bigger part at 7 rebounds. Jordan Clarkson had a good night with 7 points and 5 rebounds. Here's my point. You had an amazing first quarter by the Knicks. Couldn't have asked to be up better than 9 points to go into the second quarter. Okay, you lose 2 of those points. You're still up 7. You gain 5 of those points back in the third. So that means you're up 12 going into the fourth. Any team on any given day is licking their chops, getting ready to cut their T-bone. And then it happened. As it always fucking happens. I'm sorry, I'm dropping it first. The Knicks allowed
Mhm.
the Atlanta Hawks to shoot from anywhere they wanted, no pressure because they were more concerned about getting the rebound. But that's not what cost them this game. Mike Brown, look,
Mhm.
I love what you have done this season. Don't rely what's up on the fucking scoreboard. Keep track of your own damn timeouts.
Well, for yeah, that was the thing because he had no timeouts at the end of that game, so it was like,
Right.
you know,
But the scoreboard showed one, and that's what he was relying on, and that
no,
was
he had no timeouts at the
right.
end of that game,
So he
none.
was claiming, oh no, but the scoreboard showed I had one. No, you don't rely what's on the scoreboard. You go by the three guys there who are keeping track of this.
Yeah.
You have a
Well,
timeout
well,
left.
the issue was that the NBC broadcast, they've messed up. They thought the Knicks had a timeout. They didn't. Um, I don't know what the Jumbotron said. I wasn't at the Garden.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
just saying for the pictures they've shown, there
so
was a
the
one
Jumbotron said that they had a timeout.
timeout,
But
but
they didn't have a timeout because
no.
they lost. They had a timeout to lose before the 3 minute mark. They didn't use it. So in the last 3 minutes, they only get two timeouts. Um, so and then of course they used that with around 2:43,
Yep.
and then they used one like with like less than 20 seconds or so left in the game, and that was to set up the Brunson play where he knocked down the three-pointer and everything. Um, but yeah, besides the timeout blunder, which of course, like I said, he had none, so he couldn't call timeout to set up a play at the end. Mike Brown, for you to sit Brunson and Cat at the same time and rely on your bench while the Atlanta Hawks are going on a massive run. Mark, the Knicks were outscored 28-15 in the quarter, and they only had 6 points in the last 5 minutes. He sat Brunson and Cat at the same time. Malpractice.
I understand we were up
Absolute
12.
malpractice.
I understand we were up 12, and you're like, 12 points. I'm gonna get guys some rest. You don't rest your
You
top two
can't.
players at the same time.
It is just bad. He did not utilize his lineup in the fourth quarter properly. And on top of that, the Atlanta Hawks, and again, kudos to that coaching staff. They've done a tremendous job this season, no matter what happens in the series. The Atlanta Hawks came out firing. They said, okay, well, if you're going to continue to play ISO ball with Jalen Brunson when he was in the game, which they did,
Right.
um, if you're going to continue doing that, well, we're just going to continue to double, triple, quadruple team him, and no one's going to knock down a shot. They're going to do whatever they want on defense. They're blocking shots, they're guarding, putting hands in faces.
Three blocks by Neil Alexander Walker. Three
Yeah.
in game two.
And then, of course, CJ McCollum, who had a tremendous um
A fantastic night.
phenomenal game total, knocking down shots like it's nothing. It was like every shot that he sank was so smooth, and he
Right.
couldn't miss.
Right. He was off on the 3-point game as he went 3 from 10. But you want to know what? There's only one person in the NBA I would trust with if I passed him the ball to make a 3-pointer, and that's Stephen Curry. I'm sorry. If I had to rely on one person in the NBA, that's the guy I'm relying on. But at Shazam's point, 12 of 22, 32 points, 3 of 10 from beyond the, but 6 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block.
Mm,
Are we going to shut down CJ McCallum? Because besides McCallum, no one busted above 20 points.
yeah.
So I understand the ISO move with Brunson. I get it.
But I don't, Mark, because the Knicks were doing the give and goes and the pick and rolls and the, not necessarily everyone sharing the ball, but it wasn't just Brunson scoring early on in the game. Everyone
Right.
had some contributions, including one of Mitchell Robinson.
Right.
So, you know,
And
the Knicks, the whole idea was team basketball, right?
yes.
So the offense is supposed to be much better, much cleaner, easier with Mike Brown. Well, that didn't happen in the fourth quarter. They got cold at the worst time possible,
And
and
without
Hawks
their
took
two
advantage of that.
starters on the court,
Yeah.
with both Cat and Robinson sitting down. To just give to Dan's point, Mitchell Robinson was 6 for 6 and 7 rebounds. Why isn't he in there more?
Well, but he was a
No, no, I
non-factor.
mean more of the game. He only played 18 minutes. He's got to play more. I don't. If I'm gonna have someone of
He was
my
in that fourth
big,
quarter.
yeah, I know, but if I'm gonna have someone of my big three, who are my big three rebounders, foul out early, I'd rather it be Mitchell Robinson than it be Karl Anthony Towns or OG Anunoby or Josh Hart. I would utilize Robinson more. Let him absorb. Let him go in and take a blocking foul. Send
Mm,
them to the line more because it's actually proved they're shooting 63%,
mm.
the Hawks. So maybe that's an option. But Dan and I don't make these decisions as we are not paying
Yeah.
for it.
And
But
and also 10 free throws. You missed 10 free throws on the night.
it's just not.
Down the stretch, too.
Yeah.
They missed a
And
chunk down the
we were
stretch.
commenting on that all season. This wasn't just a one night thing. This is something Dan and I have touched on at least better than 75% of our episodes this season. We have touched on the fact that the missed opportunities, such as free throws, is where the Knicks lost it. I mean, when you miss, like Dan said, 10 free throws, if they would have missed eight, they would have won this game.
That's the one. That's the wild part. Yeah. But then, of course, you look at that. You look at the turnovers. I think Knicks had like 14 on the night.
Yeah,
You know, at the end of the day, the Knicks once again showed how soft they were against a team, again, that they're supposed to be better than, right?
right.
Showed how soft they were. The Hawks showed their grit and were ready to play. They didn't give up. Like I said, they don't quit. And it results in a loss that could be monumental. We're going to Atlanta tonight. And I say we because we're fans. We're all part of this. Like it's always the Knicks and the fans. We're all in this together, baby. But like Knicks are going into Atlanta tonight. I wouldn't necessarily say a must win, but I can't imagine you lose game three, you're down 2-1, going into game four. Like, where's the confidence going to be at on Saturday if that was the case?
Exactly. You know, I look at, who was not used in this game, and I understand, David, I understand Jeremy Schoen. I understand why not use Hukapori or Diawara for rebounding purpose only when if you need to give one of your big three a rest, put them in there just for defensive purpose only.
It's the playoffs, man. I mean,
I know, I know.
I don't want my young guys going out there,
I,
in
I mean,
crunch
look, I
time. Like,
absolutely, I
maybe a minute, maybe a couple of minutes in there. But like, no. I was glad to see Alvarado, who again didn't really necessarily contribute to the points, but certainly was in there dishing it out to people like and being a pest. Like that was cool to watch. Maybe we should try him a little bit more. Um, I think a lot of people have to be better. I think McBride has to be a little bit better. He wasn't great in this game. Um, and of course, we keep talking about Cat and Brunson and how the weight's on their shoulders because they're the top two players. But would it be nice for Anunoby to get involved too? Like he was barely involved. I know he had a couple of steals, he had 8 rebounds, but like it was a non-fact. He was a non-factor late,
Yep.
non-factor. He did nothing, and we need all the help we can get if we're gonna
Knicks
become a
fever, baby.
contender.
Knicks
Yeah.
fever.
Um, I will say, like, I saw the Detroit Pistons last night absolutely bully the F
Wow.
out of the Orlando Magic, who beat them in game one,
Correct.
you know? So I saw them come out that second half. It was tied 27-3 run.
I
Can
haven't
the
seen
Knicks?
I don't think I've seen that large of a run in I don't know. It's been a
Yeah,
long
it's
time.
been a
That
very
big
long
of a
time.
run.
I want the Knicks to do that against the Atlanta Hawks. Can they put the Hawks in a pool and not even allow them, sink them,
Yeah.
not even allow them to attempt to come up? They need to be dead in the water. That will show me something. These and look, it's going to be a tough series. These close games here, it's all nice. It's great for chaos. Don't look, I'm you know me. I'm all about chaos. Like even with my team. Like yeah, and you know what? Make it tough for us. But can the Knicks like show me something? Be like, hey, we're the better team here, and we're gonna bully your ass. We're gonna shit on your faces, and then we're gonna walk all over that shit and
Let me
smother
tell
your face. Can
let
they
me tell
do
you,
that?
we're headed to Atlanta. Now everyone knows Atlanta's no joke. Now I'm not talking about the team, I'm talking about the city. It's no joke down there.
Hmm.
Okay. Going back to, I believe it's State Farm Arena. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I believe that's what it is.
Maybe, yeah.
Going, everybody knows that going back to your home court is where you gain all your energy, you get all that morale. But no, but a lot of statistics show it actually is not all the better because it disrupts a lot.
Yeah.
Football, completely different sport because noise is part of the game. But you don't want to have 40,000 fans screaming when you're trying to make a final play. That being said, the Knicks will be playing tonight at 7 o'clock, which I do not know my guy's schedule. I don't know about them. I will be up and ready to go at 7. I'll probably throw SIP live at 7, be on live for the Knicks game. And then here's going to be the craziness. We're going to have the Knicks game. Then we're going to have the NFL draft. Dan and I will be going back and forth, and we'll be reporting on the Knicks game as it goes and as we go into quiet. And then Dan and I will be jumping back in, but then I will keep it all in the same room because Dan's Jets got the number 2 pick.
Yeah.
Dan, I know you did your mock draft. I listened to it. I thought it was pretty good. It's your choice. You know who's going number 1. We know who's number 1. Who do you want at number 2? Who do
Ar-
you?
Reese. I want Arvo Reese.
What I thought you would say, because that's who I picked for the Jets to take in my mock. So
Now that's who I want them to pick. Who do I think they're gonna pick? I have a very strong feeling they're gonna pick David Bailey.
and that's what Rifkin said.
And look, I'm not mad if the Jets pick David Bailey. He's a baller.
Oh, he's a fantastic ball
Like
player.
he's a tremendous player. It's not about his ability to play. I just think for someone like Aaron Glenn, it's a safe pick because he's more NFL ready. So I would like to take a chance on the prospect and the development of Arvell Reese. But I'm not the Jets, and I don't know what they want to do. And ultimately, look, we're going to get a stud either way.
Right.
So Like,
Whether the yeah, if the Jets end up taking, excuse me, if the Jets end up taking David Bailey, expect the Tennessee Titans to take Arbel Reese. That's pretty much where Mike and I were on the flip flop. They're both fantastic defensive players. Both teams are in need. It'll be who gets. Jets will make the decision on who gets who, really.
maybe someone trades up to get David Bailey if they're really, really, really in on him. And guess what? The Jets will reap the benefits. Why not?
Of,
Like,
of course. Just don't forget the Jets don't only have two great picks this year, they got way more next year.
yeah,
So, if you're watching us and you're a Knicks fan, you better be ready because we can hear you outside. Just yell.
yeah.
Just yell. The Sports Insanity Network says we're gonna win. That's all you got to do. Yell
Yeah.
out and get us named now. Like, subscribe, hit that bell. Dan, where are we on the social?
We're on the socials at Insanity Real, Facebook, X, and continue to follow us there. You can always log on to our website as well, sportscitynetwork.com. And we're gonna have a lot of draft content throughout the weekend, so please stay tuned for that. Rifkin will write something. Mark's gonna be chirping about his Cowboys.
Yep. I'll be getting a couple in, and we know we'll be hearing from Nate Moser. If you didn't see Breakaway Bandits, Nate Moser was back. He came out of hiding because the Buffalo Sabres, congratulations, made it to the playoffs.
Yeah,
So,
and that's gonna be a good series. They're tied 1-1 right now.
oh
So,
yeah. So we know Nate doesn't need a manicure as he's biting his nails daily. For me, Mark Oldup, Sky Halpern, along with Vice President Danny Boy Reginald, I'm going to end it on my way. Say, go New York, go New York, go.
Yeah. Not a must win. I don't like my confidence. I'm going to Saturday up down 2-1. So let's go. Dubs.
Let's go.